Would that be great if you know what exactly your buyers want to buy, what are exactly their needs, and what you should say to them to make sure that they can see value in the product or services you are presenting to them? In, in perfect world, that's actually how the sales would look like. We have a buyer and seller, they meeting each other in the perfect time. The buyer can exactly explain what they need. The seller can provide exactly solution for the needs of the buyer or for the problem of the buyer. They make transaction and that's it. Boom, well done. The perfect sale is done. Everybody are happy. However, we do not live in the perfect world. We usually do not have those kind of abilities to read the mind of our buyers. And because of that, we can say that we probably losing many sales. But we shouldn't be discouraged as salespeople, business owners, or sales directors, because there are still very specific approaches and way to figure out what your client needs and what they want to hear from you. So then you can sit down in front of them and exactly tell them what they want to hear. Today, guys, I will share with you part of one of the most likely training and consulting session from my clients, where we talking about different type of the buyers, their needs, and at the end we will discuss what kind of message we should send to them, we should tell to them that will easily and that will help you convince them to buy your product or services. One more thing before we start. Many of you might think, oh, this is episode directly created for salespeople, but nothing further from the truth. The sales is one of the most important part of every business. In my opinion, and from my experience, every owner of the business should know how to do sales and at least should know his or her buyer. So this episode, it's not only for salespeople, it's not only for marketers, it's also for C-level executives as well as sales director. I am very sure each of these person will find a lot of value in today's episode. My name is Adam Koneczny and you are listening to Go Global Asia podcast. I've been living in Asia for past 8 years. As the CEO of EVIT organization, I have spent the last 6 years helping Asian IT companies expand into Western markets by building professional sales team and sales process. In this podcast, I am discussing everything related to sales in IT industry as well as collaboration with Western clients. Let's start it. For sake of today's presentation, I would like to divide the client type for 4 groups. We will be discussing about the startup, about SMEs, small and medium enterprises, about corporate, bigger corporation, and the last but not least, it's the partners who can be also your client. Let's start with a startup. Startup, to get better understanding of their needs, I usually divide for 2 groups. First group is founded with IT. What does that mean? That means the founder of the startup, he has IT experience. He is a developer, he know how to code, and he know how to develop the software. And to give you an example, for instance, founder of Facebook, he is one of this kind of startup founder who has the experience with the coding. And then when the Facebook was created on the very early stage, he was the one of the person who was coding and developing first initial MVPs. So what kind of needs those people, those founders usually have? First of the needs they usually have is to gain, to find additional tech expert. So usually those people, they have some limited technology experience. Either they are back-end developer or front-end developer, or maybe they are full-stack developer, but still they will need missing some experience with some tech stack. So they are looking for additional tech expert, and this is quite obvious and straightforward. Second point, what they will need is they need the people with startup experience. So whenever they onboard those additional experts, it's much better and it's very preferable that those guys who are joining, they understand how to work in the startup. Let me explain you here a little bit more because this is important. Imagine that you have a developer who works in the corporate environment and he used to do maintenance services. Maintenance services characteristic is that they usually do repeat the same activity every day. However, imagine in the startup how the work look like. First of all, you must wear multiple hats, meaning you need to do multiple activities. You need to be project manager, you need to be developer, front end, back end, you need to be designer, everything. The people who are joining to the startup, they need to be able to do everything. Second, they need to be all the time available. This is also really important, and you can start seeing like characteristic of this person. It must be completely different than the characteristic of the person of the developer who worked for corporation for most of the life. So now, as I was discussing on the beginning of this podcast, I will show you how you can use this kind of information to provide the message to the client. So imagine that you have a potential client who is a startup founder who has a technology experience. What you can say to him, you can say something like that. Mr. Client, what is important for you to know is that our company and our developer has the experience working with a startup founder. What I mean by that, our developer are able to wear multiple hats. They know they should be available because there are many crises or many urgent situations that they need to engage, and they have a huge experience in doing those activities. That means you can count on them not only as the people who will be doing the things what you say, but also people who will be actively engaging with you to creating your business. So this is you taking the message, sorry, how you taking the need and turn it into the message. And this is exactly how we want to use this information. So let me continue with the last need that I can share with you today. I don't want this podcast to last for 3 hours, but you need to understand that there might be much, much more needs than I am presenting you here. And it's your role to figure out what kind of other needs there might be there. So last need, it will be industry experience. So imagine that the founder of this startup, let's come back to the Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg, and he's looking for teammates to join with him. Obviously, he wants to work with somebody who has experience with the social media platform. If there is any developer joining with him who has experience in tourism, I am pretty sure that this developer will not be so valuable in terms of sharing experience as the developer who worked for last 5 years building the social platforms. So this is very important also to keep in the mind that industry experience might be very important need for the startup founder who is a IT oriented person. And here again, what we can do, what we can say, the message supposed to look like this. Mr. Client, I see you trying to build a social platform and I really love your project. What is important for you to know is that actually our team, we did 3 social platforms already before, and we have a developers and consultant who joined that project from very early stage, from the ideation and proof of concept to the moment when the project was commercialized. Their insight for you will be super valuable. I'm 100% sure. So again, sending this kind of message to the client, you are showing that you do understand the client, you do understand their needs, you understand their problem, and you know how your team and you know how your product will solve their problem. And then second type of the startup, it's funded without IT. And here, obviously, what's that mean? It's mean basically the founder, let's say business owner, it's some entrepreneur who just got idea and he said he want to build this product because this product is solving ABC problem, and this is a huge problem in his industry. So I don't know, for instance, we can take real estate, the industry which is really, really far from technology in terms of the software. But let's say there is some person who is the developing real estate, and he find out the way that he can apply software to solve some problem of his clients. And then he doesn't have experience how to build the software, but he knows what problem are existing. He has idea how we can solve it by technology. And what he will need, this person need usually local IT expert or CTO. So they usually rather to have somebody to lead the technical team and somebody locally, because the local CTO will understand local market and needs of local people. Next, they will need full team, including business analytic and project manager, because this person, again, will not have an idea how to develop software, what is the product life cycle, and how we build the product. Those people usually want to start from very scratch. As far as founder with IT knowledge, he can build a part of the product. He can even build MVP by himself. Here, the founder without IT, he cannot do it. They also need startup experience and industry experience. So these 2 points they will be aligned. But let me choose one need from a startup founder without IT knowledge and give you the message how we can pitch to the client that need. So let's say that we will choose start from very begin prototype and MVP. So you can say something like this. Mr. Client, I understand you are on the very early stage of building this product. So what I would like to share with you is actually accept only developers in our team. We have a consultant who can help you to go through whole product journey together with us. What that mean? There is often situation that people who don't know how to build a software product, they start from the wrong place, and because of that, they are under the risk that they might lose the money. With us, we will assign the team of the consultant to join with you for the workshop that they will explain you step by step how we should build the product, where we start, how long it will take, how much it might cost, what functionalities we need, so on and so forth. And the best about this workshop is for free. So you have basically literally no risk, and our goal is to add you a lot of value through that workshop. Does it make sense to you? And then sending this kind of message to the founder without IT experience, you can really, really build their trust. And this kind of message can be really convincing. So let me move on. Next is SMEs, small and medium enterprises. For sake of this podcast, I will say that small and medium enterprises, there are from 50 to 500 people, and we're talking about 5 to 50 million revenue. And here I divided for three groups. The SME that they have already stable product, the SMEs that they do new development, and SMEs as a software integrator or software companies. And here I will try to go quick through some points. So let's say stable product. Stable product is basically company who already develop their product, and now they just maintenance, they commercialize the product, they maintenance, they fixing some bugs and improving. So what they need, the first thing what they will be looking for is reduce the cost. And the team they had at their local team, let's say, maybe it's really expensive. Next, what they're looking for is reduce employee turnover rate. Usually those SMEs, they will see that whenever they get into maintenance phase, those developers who were engaged earlier in development, they feel bored and they might leave. They need stable vendor, somebody who can provide them service and not disappear. and they need to maintain operations smoothly, for instance, and those needs can keep going. I will stay here with those three, four, and maybe I will give you an example of one message. Let's say reduce employee turnover rate. So you can say to the client something like this: Mr. Client, we are aware that in the phase where you are, which is maintenance of the existing software, that many of your developers might not be super satisfied with this job. We are understanding that maintenance is not the most exciting thing for the team, local team who did development before. Even I heard the term before, they call them dead teams. And what is happening? Usually, those people they're looking for the new challenges, and either they will find it in your company or they will find this outside your company. And this actually causing a lot of the issue with the turnover rate. So, what is our solution for that? It's basically we are specializing in replacing those maintenance team with our internal developer from our organization. Basically, our Vietnamese developer, they are really professional to do the maintenance. They are really happy to help our clients from Europe, from US to do the maintenance. And then what you can do, you can take your team, internal team that you have now, and move them to development of the new application or new features. Thanks to that, you are reducing the cost on the maintenance fee, and also you're building another product, high quality product, with the happy team, if I can say like that. Does it make sense? And this is the example of the message that you can send to the buyer who have stable product and they need to reduce the turnover rate. Next, it's new development. So this is SME that already have one product and they want to build the different product, something completely new. So usually they need the full team, they need fixed budget, they need short onboarding time, they need stable vendor, they need roadmap for the product development, and they need to reduce time and cost. So let me choose one. Let's say fixed budget. I choosing this one because actually this is very important for the SMEs with the new development, because as you probably know, they already are in the stage where they have a budgeting, they're usually responsible in front of some other stakeholder or investors. So they need to make sure everything is follow up with their budget. So here what we can say is something like this. Mr. Client, we understand how important it is that you work with a trusted partner. That's why we always sign in contract and we always stick to the dates and the budget we implement in the contract. If something happen, if we will need to add additional functions that we were not able to predict in our scoping phase, and this will be from our side, need to add this, we will do it without increasing the budget. Only the one case that the budget might be increased, it's only when you request us, meaning you will ask us to add something new or you will ask us to change something that you will feel it will be better for your client. Does it make sense? And sending this kind of message to the new to the SMEs who are in the new development phase, it would be fit and would be very convincing for them. The next one is SI, software integrator or software company. Their needs could be something like white label model, collaboration, reduce the cost, obviously, because there, in many cases, there are like a middleman, quick onboarding, process of collaboration, productivity matrix. Those are the needs that they will be really looking for from their vendors. So which one I can discuss? Maybe I can talk about the quick onboarding. So the message we can send to this kind of client is could be as follow. Mr. Client, I understand that you are bidding for another project, and some of your clients they are coming in and they have an immediate request. Because of that, I guess you might need a quick onboarding of the new team member. Actually, what is important for you to know, our team, our company is specializing in the quick onboarding of developer. Basically, we have a process in our company that allowed us in the time duration of 1 week onboard 3 developers to your team. And then 2 weeks we can onboard 6, so on and so forth. So we have a very specific process and you can count on us. We always follow up with this process. So does it make sense for you to proceed with this kind of engagement? And then, yeah, that would be the SMEs, all 3 types. There could be many more type of SMEs, and actually, more you divide this for the more group, it will be better for you, in my opinion, because then you can be prepared for every situation. Let's move on to corporate. Uh, for the sake of this podcast, I will say there are companies with $80 million revenue and up. And what are their needs? Their needs are stable vendor. They need also reduce the cost. They need engagement process. They need experience in domain. They need due diligence and financial reporting from the vendor. And they need optimized operation. So I will choose the need engagement process. So if we understand that we work with corporate and it's important for them engagement process, we can say something like that. Mr. Client, we've been working with 6 different corporate already for last 5 years. We were multiple time joining to RFPs and choosing as a main IT service provider. What does that mean? It means that we exactly know how to join to the RFPs, how to provide you all information what you need, and how to shorten the process of verification our company to make it as quick as possible and as smooth as possible. Let me show you one slide with exactly process step by step we take in when we're engaging with client similar to you. And this is the message that we can send to the procurement department or whoever we're talking from the corporation to explain them that we clearly understand how to work with those kind of clients. And the last one, it's the partners. And here we have a different type of partners. We can have an incubator, accelerators, innovation labs, VC companies, individual partner, a lot, a lot, a lot. Again, more you divide it for groups, it's better for you, and then more needs you list out. It's also better for you. So what they need trusted partners. They need a good business model. They need technology and startup consultant, and they need act quickly. So let me choose one of the needs here. Obviously, again, there could be much more needs, but let me choose one need here that I can show you how to create the message for those kind of need. Let's say about the good business model. So imagine that we're working with individual partner and what we can say to him. Mr. Partner, we been engaging with individual partner as you for last 10 years. What does that mean? We have a very specific process and a business model that is beneficiary for both of us. So how does it work? We give you usually 2 options or sometimes 3 options to benefit on our collaboration. First of all, we can give you fixed commission on the every lead that we successfully close. That's the one option. Second option, we can give you space to put your markup over our prices, and then we can do it this way, like kind of white labeling that the client on other side, they will not know that there is the markup. And the third way, we can both decide how much markup should be and then divide this by. And the third way is kind of hybrid model where we will decide on the most suitable markup together. And then also we will give you commission plus we have actually bonuses for our most precious partners who deliver the most value for us. This model is been successful, as I said, last couple years, and all of our partners, they love it. I will send you one slider where you can see exactly how does it work. Is this okay with you? And this is the message that we can send to our partner. So that will be it. What I want to encourage you is to, first of all, list out the type of the buyers you are working with. Then list out their needs, and when you have a need, design the message. I show you today the framework and I give you some example how to do it. The next step is belong to you. I mentioned on the very beginning of this podcast that this is one of the most liked session by our clients, and the reason is because they can take it right away and use it. Usually there are many challenges from the sales team, from the people who are engaging with directly with clients, because they never think about their needs. Sometimes they're thinking about the pain point, but thinking about the needs from this perspective, what I give you, is giving you better understanding of the client. And if you have a better understanding of client, you can empathize more, and then you can send better message to the client. Before I end, I would like to share that I have seen that the podcast getting some traction. There are more and more people engaging with us, and really, really appreciate that. I would also like to ask you for the favor if you can give me your suggestions, what you would like to hear. Maybe you have some question related to this podcast, or there is something else that you would like to hear and learn from my experience. This is number one thing what I would love to hear from you. Additionally, if you have any suggestion related to the length of the podcast, how long it should be, is this too short for you, or maybe those episodes are too long, feel free to share with us. And last but not least, it would mean world to me if you just can like this and share with any of your friends who will find this useful too. Thank you so much. That was Go Global Asia podcast, and I see you in next episode. Bye bye.